Hello guys and welcome to Vlogin Project. The LG G5 is LG's last year flagship from 2016, the one with the wide-angle camera lens, which has just been discounted to $220 in the US. I can't really recommend this phone to anybody, unfortunately, apart from a very specific group of holiday people. To see what I'm talking about, let's start with the conclusion. In case you're wondering why this video is over 20 minutes long, is that I'm gonna do the conclusion first and after that I'm gonna go into details. So if you're really interested, you can stay till the end. If not, I'm gonna give you the main reasons why you shouldn't buy this phone right now. So there are two main reasons. The first of all is the battery life, and second of all is the screen retention issues. Now, by battery life, I mean 2.5, 3.5 hours of screen on time, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, on Wi-Fi only you can maybe get 4 hours, but that's like the top. That's like the top. If you don't do nothing, you can get 4 hours. If you use your phone heavily, you're looking at 2.5 hours, which is not acceptable for 2017 for a flagship. Is just not enough to my book. And the second reason is the screen retention. If you don't know what that means, I guess you know what screen burn means for AMOLED screens. Well, LG introduced this quantum dot LCD screen of the G4, V10, V30 and the G5. Probably the G6, I'm not quite sure, it's a little bit early to tell. But what happens is, after a certain period of time, I remember I had the LG G4 and after 8 months I got screen retention issues. Basically it's the same thing as the screen burn on the AMOLED screens, but it's not permanent. Well, not exactly. I mean, basically because your phone overheats non-stop, and because of this specific LG's quantum dot technology, you're getting some sort of screen burn, which is quite annoying because it's 100% for sure you're gonna get it at some point. And unfortunately on this particular LG G5 I already got it. So you basically know that your screen is going to burn sooner or later. And couple that with a ridiculous battery life, nah. I mean, this phone is not for you. Of course some people don't mind, but generally, no. The one and only reason I can recommend this phone only to the holiday people, as you already heard about the problems of this phone, is the wonderful camera setup. Put this phone in your pocket, go on holiday, and you will not be disappointed, because the first camera, 60 megapixel 16:9 aspect ratio, is gonna take all of your beautiful landscape photos, and the camera qualities are definitely one of the best at the market still in 2017, easily compared or even a little bit better than the S8. I can tell this by experience. I've got the S7 Edge, which I'm filming at the moment, I've got the Note 5, I've got a bunch of phones. That's one of the best cameras you can buy at the moment right now. And the second camera lens, the 8 megapixel wide angle camera, oh man, I mean, if you're filming cathedrals or, you know, castles or something like that, you just point it out, and with the wide angle you're gonna catch absolutely everything in one photo. It's a really fun camera feature. Forget about the monochrome, forget about the telephoto. These are effects you can easily achieve in Photoshop, but the wide angle is a major go for me. So yeah, that's my conclusion, guys. If you're on holiday, you definitely need this phone, but not as your daily driver because of the problems already mentioned. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this kind of format. And now let's jump to the real review. Okay guys, so let's get to the real thing now. Design and build quality is definitely quite narrow, which makes it quite comfortable for one-hand usage. As you can see, I have, let's say, medium hands, and I can easily reach all the way to the other side. The phone is definitely not very tall as well, but for 5.3 inches I have definitely seen smaller phones. But anyway, it's quite comfortable, as I already said, due to the curved edges over here. The screen is curved as well, just a little bit. So overall in-hand feel definitely thumbs up. Which doesn't get a thumbs up, unfortunately, is the plastic on the back cover. It's so bad, it scratches so easily, it's so nasty feeling that I definitely had to do something, and what I come up with is applying this skin. As you can see, it makes a really nice scratchy sound. It's quite grippy, it's comfortable to the hand, and overall I really like the look of this brushed aluminum one. Now let's have a look what we have over here. That's our fingerprint reader, which, check this out. it makes this wobbly sound, which is a little bit annoying in my opinion. The fingerprint itself is not very fast. It locks the phone 100%, but as I said, it's a little bit on the slow side. The camera setup is a little bit ugly as well. On the left side, we've got our volume rocker, which I have totally no idea what it's doing on the wrong side. It should be on the right hand side, at least to my preference. Instead, we have our SIM card tray over here. At the top, we've got 3.5mm jack, air blaster, an additional microphone, which is nice to have. At the bottom, we've got our module here, bottom firing speaker, USB Type-C port, and another microphone. And let me show you how this modular thing works. We've got a button here, which is totally out of any kind of order and design. You press it, and you take the module out. Now, I really like the idea of replaceable hot swappable batteries, but the battery itself is so tightly fitted into the module that you can't really, easily plug it out. You really have to hold these two things apart and just apply pressure like that, which I really don't see myself using as much because it feels like you're ripping it off from the module itself. And the module itself is quite clever because having all these components in one simple module over here, if you drop your phone and if you get the module damaged, or you damage the port, or you put it into water or anything like that, you just replace the module. It's quite cheap. You can even get a different color. In my case, I have silver module here, and the body of my phone is this titanium kind of looking, which I'm really not a fan of, but that's what I managed to get cheaper. So the phone itself looks a little bit awkward without the module. It's definitely hollow, and it just feels awkward. But anyway, so yeah, in terms of build quality, I'm not very happy. And as you can see, this silver trims over here already chipped off. So they're definitely not metal or anything like that. They're just pure plastic, and this one is gonna chip off as we speak. But anyway, let's get to the fingerprint reader now. Check this out. Let's switch the phone off. Check this out. As you can see, it takes a good kind of half a second after you press it. Check this out. At least it's quite reliable and it works 100% of the time. So yeah, it could have been better, but anyway. Now, one of the highlights of this phone should have been the screen, but to be honest with you, I'm quite disappointed because although the qualities are definitely there, I'm really a fan of the reds. It's really nice and bloody red. It's even redder than the AMOLED screens, which is really nice. The black levels are really deep, especially for an LCD screen. They're quite impressive as well. And the display is quite well calibrated, especially for photography, because it gives you the real colors. They're not overly saturated like the AMOLED ones. So although I'm a huge fan of AMOLED, I can definitely live with that screen any day. Now, the thing is that you don't have any sort of, tweaks. You can't really change the saturation. You can't change the color balance. It is what it is. It's still okay, but I could have definitely wished for a little bit more tweaks. Now, although it seems like I'm quite happy with the screen so far, I'm definitely not happy to see that they've used the same quantum dot technology they've used in the previous LG phones like the G4, like the V10 and the V20, which means that basically in just a couple of months of heavy usage, if the phone heats up quite often, and which it will, because as you see now the screen brightness is at 80%, and basically that's the minimum brightness I can use for that screen, because otherwise if you go down to 50 or 30 it's just way too dark. It's basically, check this out, it's unusable. So basically you have to at least keep it at 80% and all the time, and especially if you go outside, you gotta crack the brightness up the way to 100%, which as you can see is not very bright, but at least the sunlight visibility is good. So basically Snapdragon 820 1440p quantum dot screen that generates quite a lot of heat, which results in the infamous screen retention problem found in the above mentioned devices. So basically what that means is that, AMOLED, how they burn in time, well, you've got a very similar situation over here. I'm gonna go to screen burn-in fixer and press do I have burn-ins, and check this out. Can you see the buttons marked here? There you go, the buttons at the bottom, and as you can see, the status bar over here is burnt as well. If you leave the phone like that, they're gonna go away in a couple of minutes, but that's not the thing. I mean, you can't really keep your phone cool all the time. That's why if you take the phone on holiday, just shoot your photo shoot or whatever you're gonna shoot and just switch the phone after that. You're never gonna see that. But if you use the phone, let's say half an hour, and after that, definitely you're gonna see the screen irritation. As you see, it's going away, and the buttons over here are already faded, but you can't really go on like that. So yeah, that's the screen retention, guys. I'm really not sure. I mean, for me, that's a deal breaker because you bought your phone and you don't expect it, the whole screen to give up with just 6 months of usage. But for some people, that's not a problem. For me especially, that is a problem, just knowing that your screen is gonna give up sooner or later. Now, apart from the screen, the performance is pretty much on par on every other Snapdragon 820 device. It's quite snappy as well. If you load up the benchmarks, you definitely see that, check this out, everything is pretty much on point. So I have totally no complaints about the overall performance. RAM management is pretty good as well. Gaming performance is pretty good as well. There's no point for me showing you guys because every game you throw at it is gonna run on the highest frame rates possible. So totally no issues with the performance of this phone. When it comes down to software, a lot of people don't like the software, the LG skin as they call it for whatever reason. I have applied a black, I believe it was called LG G6 theme. As you can see, everything is nice and simple and black. Your notification area is changed, your shortcuts as well, so I really don't mind the LG skin. As you can see over here, it runs quite quick, so for me, totally no complaints. You've got a couple of additional extras. One thing I particularly like is the ability to change the order of the buttons here. You go to home touch buttons, you go to button combination, and basically you can do whatever you like with those buttons. You can swap them like that, you can swap them like that from here. That's a really good feature. What I don't like is that I can't really change the overall design of the buttons. So, I mean, overall, I really don't mind. It is what it is. It's okay to my book. Now, when it comes down to sound, the headphone output, although we have 3.5mm jack, is not very good. The Snapdragon 820 without an additional DAC, it's just not very good. It's about average. That's why they're trying to sell you this additional module with the DACs. But to be honest with you, I really don't feel the need because there are other phones which are doing the job better, and I really don't feel like paying extra just for 32-bit compatibility. But anyway, now when it comes down to speaker, we've got only one mono downfiring speaker, but boy is that speaker loud. No matter what environment are you in, you're gonna hear what's coming out of this speaker 100% of the time. The quality is pretty good as well, so I believe if any manufacturer continues to put a single bottom firing speaker, they should definitely follow LG and make it as loud as them. Let me show you quickly what I'm talking about. So as I said, the speaker is quite loud and definitely gets my thumbs up. Now the thing that differentiates me from all the rest of the channels, guys, is that I actually use my phone as my daily drivers during my review period, which is about at least 2 weeks, so I can give you real-time battery information, not like some other channels who said, oh, the battery is gonna get you through the day. So check this out. I'm a really heavy user. I'm draining all of the phones quicker than most other people, but this one is particularly bad. Check this out. 2 hours 22 minutes of screen on time. 2 hours 23 minutes here. 3 hours 14 minutes. 4 hours Wi-Fi only. 4 hours 2 minutes. 3 hours 44 minutes. 4 hours. 3 hours. 2 hours 45 minutes. 2 hours 53 minutes. So basically, to my book, that's pretty bad simply because on Wi-Fi only, the best you can do is 4 hours of screen on time, which is a shame because on the Moto Z, on Wi-Fi only, with 2600 mAh of battery, I was easily getting 5 hours of screen on time. And 2.5 hours, come on guys, I mean, you should definitely improve in this aspect. I know the G6 has a better battery, but in this particular unit, the G5, the battery life is absolutely ridiculous. Charging times though. Charging times is something that I'm happy with. 1 hour 10 minutes is get you from 0 to 100%, which is like one of the quickest ones available at the market right now. And I definitely, like that, but it just doesn't compensate for the ridiculous battery life that you're getting out of this phone. Now, the highlight of this phone is definitely the camera setup, guys. You're having a 16 megapixel 16:9 aspect ratio cam, perfect for the landscape photos, and the second cam is the wide angle 8 megapixel shooter, which does miracles when you go on holiday. So definitely thumbs up for LG for making one of the best cameras ever made on a mobile phone. So let me show you some photos of my recent holiday, guys. So yeah, as you can see, this camera is absolutely top of the range camera. I can easily recommend it to anybody. But the thing is that I'm not overall happy with the video quality. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Hello guys and welcome to Vlogging Project. Let's do a quick video test on the LG G5 with optical stabilization only. As always, I'm walking down the street holding the phone with one hand. And let's just quickly turn around over here and let's see what we've got. That's one of my favorite cars, by the way. If you know what this car is, let me know in the comments down below. So let's shake it up like that. Let's shake it up like that a little bit. Let's see the transition, and that's it. Okay guys, there's the second video now. That's with optical plus digital image stabilization. I just want to see the difference, and as always, I'm holding the phone with one hand only. So let's check the clouds over here. Let's come back to this amazing alpha here. Let's check the clouds once again, and let's shake it up like that a little bit. Let's do it like that a little bit, and let's see how it works out. As you saw from the video, the phone definitely has optical image stabilization plus electronic image stabilization. They do a relatively good job. The overall quality of the video and the 4K video is quite good as well. The only letdown that I have with this video camera is the autofocus, which is not very reliable. It doesn't work 100% all the time. So I would say that if you're a YouTuber or something like that and you're planning to use these phones for videos, this phone is definitely not for you. The only thing you can do to improve the video capabilities a little bit is to download the V10 camera APK on XDA, which is going to give you manual controls on the video, which still a lot of phones doesn't have as an extra. So overall, camera definitely go for me. So the last thing when it comes down to camera is the front shooter, which is 8 megapixels. I'm overly happy with the quality of this shooter. Plenty of detail, everything is fine. Basically, you're gonna have absolutely no problems. And the good thing is that you have autofocus as well. You can double tap this volume button over here to get you straight away to the camera. So yeah, it's time for conclusion, guys. Where does that leave us with the LG G5? As I said, the phone has an absolutely amazing camera setup. The bottom firing speaker is excellent, is very loud, it has a pretty good quality. The headphone jack is about average. The fingerprint reader is very reliable, but it's a little bit flimsy and it's a little bit slow as well. The overall performance is excellent, RAM management is excellent, gaming performance is excellent. On the other hand, the battery life is pretty much ridiculous, and although the screen is excellent as well, because of the screen attention issues, I can't really recommend it to anybody. So this phone for me in 2017 is only for people going on holiday who need a cheap and in the same time excellent camera setup, and they will have a lot of fun with the second wide angle shooter as well. So no matter what the price is, guys, I mean, think about it carefully. If the screen retention is not a problem for you, if carrying a second battery is not a problem for you, that definitely might be one of the best phones you can get, but for me especially, that's a huge deal breaker. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you came this far to the video and you still haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, because I've got plenty of phones coming down. The next phone you're gonna see reviewed in my channel is the next Robin, simply because it dropped dramatically in price and it's a very good phone for £120 or $120 in the US. So yeah, thank you very much again, guys, and see you in the next one. Adios.